Incredibly tone deaf. He has apologised for them. Does that go far enough, do you think, given the public's mood and lack of faith in the police at the moment?
Well, I don't even believe in that role of crime commissioner. So, I mean, it's ridiculous comments. No, women shouldn't be treated in this way. They shouldn't be expected to know any more than anyone else. And they were just crazy comments said in a stupid fashion, to be quite honest.
Should he resign?
Well, I mean, that's a matter for him and the people that have voted for him. I certainly. They were stupid comments. He shouldn't have said them. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, he is a politician, we should point out, shouldn't we, rather than actually a police officer. But very worrying that even though somebody retracts those comments, it belies, doesn't it, a way of thinking which perhaps you can't just erase through a simple apology. And I'm sure he'll be considering his position today.
Chris, good morning to you. I wanted to ask you about the Met's comments that I was just reading there, the advice that was dished out yesterday on Twitter, advising women and girls on what to say, perhaps if they wanted to a plainclothes police officer, things like, why are you here, why are you alone, what are you doing here, what do you want from me, that kind of thing. What do you make of that? Is that a woman's job to kind of police the police, to make sure that they are legitimate?
No, but I think it is common sense, and it's not just for women, actually. You should know that you're dealing with a police officer. It's very rare, almost never, that a police officer will work on his own in plain clothes in any case. And any police officer that doesn't realise that we do need to make sure people feel safe would be pretty stupid these days. So it is sensible just to make some questions. Listen, it's not really, over the course of history, it's not really the police officers picking up young girls and taking them off and murdering them or raping them that's been a problem. It's been people pretending to be police officers. So that does need to be, people do need to make sure that they are, they're certain that the person they're dealing with is a police officer. And it's quite right to say, look, I mean, as an example, do you actually know what a police warrant card looks like? Would you know, if I gave you a warrant card, what it actually looks like? It's far safer if they're in a police car with uniforms and hats on and things, that you would understand that you are, in fact, dealing with a police officer. So it is common sense that if this unusual circumstances takes place, that you do make sure that you're protected and ask some questions.
Yeah, because, Chris, it is hard. I mean, we were just speaking earlier, we were both saying we would have got in that police vehicle because we trust the police, we respect the police, we've been raised to do that, and we do that every day. So if somebody had come up to us with a warrant card and said, you're out visiting a friend, we're in Tier 4 restriction lockdown, you're under arrest, so I need you to get in my car, I would have 100% done that. I think that's what's shocked so many women about this case, is it could have been any of us. But then it's like, how could you have protected yourself in that situation?
Oh, poor Sarah was put into an impossible situation. There's no doubt about that. And, there's no excusing the behaviour. And yes, I think most people would comply with police when they're told what to do. I mean, and up until this point, we probably wouldn't even have questioned it. This man's behaviour has altered the way we view being stopped by the police, I suppose, and to some extent, for people to take their own look after themselves as well, and make sure that the person they're dealing with is a police officer is not a bad thing. Over the years, we've had many people that have pretended to be police officers, even used blue lights on their cars and things to stop vehicles. So it's it is a potential, but there's many other dangerous things out there on the streets that we have to worry about. As
you say, Sarah Everard was put in an impossible situation, but who bears some responsibility for that? Do you think that this has, does Cressida Dick, do you think, need to consider her position? She's just been given a further 2 years on her contract, hasn't she? And yet there are a whole list of missteps that have happened on her watch, not least 600 abuse claims against Met officers over the last 6 years. We're hearing that 16 officers are under investigation at the moment for alleged abuses. There's this WhatsApp group that Wayne Couzens was in. We know that he had been identified as being involved in indecent exposures and it hadn't been followed through. I mean, there's this whole long list. Why is Cressida Dick still in office?
Well, I think Cressida Dick is the most experienced police officer in the country. All these cases, I doubt that she knew anything about them until they've come to fruition now. And this is all.
It's clearly not working, and that's down to her. That's her responsibility. The buck stops with her.
Well, of course it does, and she will consider her position. I'm sure she has all the time, and is on a daily basis. She is probably more upset than anyone else in the country about this. And along with her, she tried to show to in an interview the other day just how upset she and the rest of the police force is. Listen, this is every police officer has been absolutely wounded by this, as much as the public, and they're all considering, well, how do I operate? What do I do? Have I been doing the right thing? And listen, I had 30 years of police service. I came across people that I didn't like in the police, that I didn't think should be in the police, but it was more difficult to get rid of them. So lessons do have to be learned, and these people that have slipped through the net need to be got rid of. But let's not pretend this is just a police issue. This is an issue for whole of society. We've got nurses that have murdered babies. We've got pilots that have driven plane loads of people into mountains. But we still trust them to get on and do their job, because the vast majority of them are doing the right thing and trying to do their best to protect the public.
Yeah, the vast majority of people are good, but evil does lurk amongst us, as this case proves.
Oh, it does.
And, as you say, full vote of confidence in Cressida Dick from you there. But I would just say, I'm sure her family are more upset, Sarah Everard's family are more upset even than Cressida Dick in this case.
Of course.
So Chris Phillips, always good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.